Welcome to our poetry celebration here at Berkeley Art Museum today. We have not done a poetry reading in over 2 years. I think the last one was in December of 2019, and then the ones that we were supposed to do in the spring of 2020 had to get canceled for obvious reasons, and now we're finally back. So I'm very happy that we're back doing this again, and having a big kickstart with this very long poetry marathon with these amazing readers that you're going to hear today. I'll mention to all of you, normally our poetry readings are a little smaller scale. They usually take place in this reading room back here, which you're free to peruse if you want. We actually have a lot of free books back there, small East Bay Press poetry books, which you're free to take. Anything you see back there that looks like we have multiple copies of, feel free to grab one and take it home. And I'll also mention that since you're in the building, you should take a look at some of the great exhibitions we have. Take a look at other live events that we have coming up, whether it's lectures or music or dance or other performances. And then we'll get this poetry series started up again properly very soon. So you can look for those happening regularly again too. So I'm really happy you all are here, really happy we have these amazing readers here, and mostly very happy to have Tongo Eisen-Martin here. Anyone, I should mention too, while you're at the mic, feel free to unmask while you're up here, if you like. So Tongo, if you want to come up and introduce what we're going to hear today.
Guided by teeth goes the country. There's a cow's mouth on the flag. A peculiar notepad holds street life dear, but the writer's not here. He's somewhere talking to tombstones about the good old days, or splashing reborn water on his latest face, or wondering how his old gun is doing in the afterlife. Wondering how much death trap is in those gas station aisles. It got to be $1 million a day on this concrete island. New engine in the moon, why it never goes down. I mean 72 straight hours of night, at least according to everyone's posture around here. 8:30 in the morning, it's really 30 minutes to closing. The city shuts down for a sleepy rat race. Elevator shoe shuffle to the nearest heaven, laughing with rats the whole way up. There's scabs everywhere. In puddles of city, in concentrated schools and TV-lit warm rooms, the light reveals military fatigue when it hits just right on the ties that are wrapped around the necks of lazy white guys. Empire is too easy, baby. Chant at the walls all summer if you feel like it. Best way for a target to move is shooting back. Running for a tree line made of freeways. Wisdom says against a war machine on Tuesday, you stand no chance, but may we be the last poor people to play it safe, cow's mouth on the flag. A politician raises his hand, and the crowd shows their teeth. An oligarch raises his hand. Little kids are not safe outside. You all hide depressed and comrades in function. At 15 minutes of closing in the city has survived another black rebellion. We just paying dues by trash fires, not just anybody can set. Don't you love how deadly things whisper in a moment and people kill like feathers fall while everybody's screaming inside? The writer knows that death is not a matter of dignity, rather humor. In a house that smells like roach races, nuclear percentages on torn stoves, I mean here life never was, just lazy matches and manic inhumanity, hands rushing away from life towards stoves. What we doing here? Surviving for no reason in particular, because nobody gone far today. Nobody will go far tomorrow. Trust me, hell and heaven cannot count. Strange gardens where secondhand clothes play and concrete wishes to be human so that it could be accountable. Where they find you drenched, and drains wish to be human so that they could be worthy arms for you to die in. I greet them all, grandson. Prepare for the day when every child is calm, and don't say we ghosts didn't write you a poem. Don't say we didn't dig your life. Remember the shotgun by the coat rack that everybody in the house knows how to use. Remember the tightrope made of needles for walking in between driveways and man-made best friends. Go ahead, grandson. Tune the street again. Never mind this country kills musicians first. Broken neck night, scar neck life. If these walls could write lyrics, they say, what's your angle, angel eyes? 30 to 50 rounds pass by on the street with no daughters. The street has no sons. Just young prisoners of war in a racist city that means to make capital, and we know so much. We know it all. We were stood against walls. Who's on the third cross around here? Cow's mouth, salivating over the street. And that is the story of why we aim at teeth. Societies wander together like hopeful drops of a virus. Citizen testaments bent on offering me a nation of breadwinners to hold me back like it's a Brinks. I wrinkle the concrete sometimes like flesh. My Martin Luther King permanence turned away from a podium into the reeds like God is the dangerous twin. Black August to the mountaintop balcony on my bedroom floor. You know they steal you from the earth itself and suspend you in your broken neck from their foolish euphoria, from the loyalty oath of their great superstitions, loyalty oath of their agrarian reform. I returned to my mother completely disrespected for peeling the heat off of purgatory. They kill poets like me. Walk me away from my poems, never to be heard from again. In this foul industrial complex of bloodlines picked over, picked through, a sport and spiritual death of your devil at least half made, police become a pretty word. I'm reading a lynch mob shoestrings like they tea leaves, teaching you how to write about cities. It's the 25th century in the mirror, people. Tyranny against your chump change. You're a chump to be mocked even with a gun in your car. A cubit of needlework spell tuned for the proletariat, the relapse ministry. Talented people curled up in a fetal position next to a diamond dime, just another service day in the theatrics of tea house fascism and a bouquet of surveillance cameras in the poverty of God. New blue eyes, corpses of water, newly potted presidency, or one big shiny coin if you ask animated capitalism, another non-literal voice killing his white freedom. The deification of hyphens. Medicine, brand, and picture shows. Great protesters in LA, guests of our ink. Drop kicking roses in the graveyard. I mean, DC mink like a stone torn in half to pen advances despite CIA guideposts, despite non-African past and futures. A metaphorical but not surreal day in a horn-ridden life. Horn player, improvising king. Like a radio prize fight featuring Shango himself. A real hand sweeps the land of racism. May I return to the ground? May I make progress with the gun? On our mother Emmanuel, they put on music that evening. A swinging type body language for you to drink with fermented $5 bills for your body language, some applause, my past stomach lining. Neither a good thing nor a bad thing, like being psychic on the way to a lethal injection. It'll sit you down with Lady Day. You know Lady Day leading youth who surrendered their souls to Africa too soon. Polity thought floating in a cup of water, she saved me, accessing my stomach, accessing the love of the American lynched. Coat sleeves, wooden avalanche into the wrist, our mother Emmanuel. Avalanche into the sharp keys, pain. The deal you make with pain. Piano makes sense for them. Laying hands on the world gradually. Addressing the bending necks on the streets of the north. Traveling, sailing in pain, repeating pain in the north. 10 trigger fingers on that piano of harmony will have me. Putting 100 fights on every direction offered her. Lady Day, leaning on trees again. Recruiting the countryside itself, saying lay your plan on this lightning. Make your poems the corner pocket of men. I've greeted the blues itself. America may clean my dead body, but will never include me. There goes the poet. Killing without killing. Never mind this painting of your language. May I be a meaningful lynching. A crow's passing. Good and dead by the afternoon. Man, all street life to a certain extent starts fair. I mean, sometimes with a spiritual memory even. Pre-dawn soul clap, your father dying even. Maybe I pushed the city too far. My sensitivities to landfill districting and minstrel whistles, white supremacist graffiti on westbound rail guards, all overcome and reauthored. Reauthored by revolutionary violence that chose its own protagonists, or muted stage of genius. You know, garbage is growing voices, condensed Marxism for warrior depressors, underpasses in their pockets because they just might be deities, a decent bid on the Panther name. A merciful Marxism. Disquieted home life, a metaphor for relaxing next to a person who is relaxing next to a gun. I stare at my father for a few seconds, then return to my upbringing, return to the souls of Ohio black folk, revolution damn near pagan at this point. You know what the clown wants? The respect of the ant. Wants to interpret pain only, wants to pull a 38 out of a begging bowl, wants me to hurt my hand on this pen. I'm not tired of these rooms, just tired of the world to give them a relativity. My only change of clothes prosecuted. The government has finally learned how to write poems, shootouts that briefly align, that make up a parable, or parables, like White bodies are paid well. Do white men even have leaders? Are all white people white men? A rat pitches a river, can almost taste the racial divide, can almost roll a family member's head into a city hall legislative chamber, knows who in this good book will fly. All I do is practice, Lord. Decided not to talk out in anger ever again. Me and my wife at the same time, I met new audience members for our pain. We passed each other cigarettes and watched cops win. The city gone uniquely linear, Harlem of the West, do a true universe. I will always remember you in fancy clothes, my wife said. So here I sit, twisting in silk ideation. Rifle made of postbellum tar, targets made of an honest language. This San Francisco poetry is how God knows it is me whining. Riding among the lesser respected wolves. Lesser observed militarization, Dixie-less prison bookkeeping, the California Gray Coast are coming, lynch mob gossip and bourgeois debt collection, it's tempting to change professions mid-poem, and the Chicago briefing the white sergeant saying, blank slate for all of us after this black organizer is dead. Standard academics toasting $2 wine at the tank parade, bay of nothing, Lord, just nuclear cobblestones, gun line athleticism, and the last of the inherited asthma. Children given white dolls to play with in fear. Facial expressions borrowed from rich people's shoestrings, I can hear hate. And teach hate, and call tools by people names, and name people dead to themselves. No one getting naturalized except federal agents soon. Carving the equator in the throat soon. I'm sorry to make you relive all this, Lord, all this pre-dime monarchy, friends putting up politician posters and snorting the remainder of the paste, menstrual script shoveling to the walls by their elders. My children sharpening their quarters on the city's edge. For these audiences, I project myself into a ghost-like state. For these gangsters, I do the same. Every now and then, take a nervous look east. Sleep becomes Christ. Sleep starts growing a racial identity. Do you ever spiral, Lord? Has the gang age betrayed us? Be patient with my poems, Lord. There's so much pain. It's the point to crown. There has to be if race traders come with it, Lord. Is that my revolver in your hand? You know, better presidents than these of y'all in the cages have called us holy slaves, filled the school libraries with cop documentaries. Baby, I don't have money for food. Why, I don't have a present moment at all. All right, the end. All right, so all of the warriors have gathered. We have a groovy afternoon of insight coming to you now. So without further ado, our second reader, Mical Asefaw. I know y'all know how to welcome somebody to a microphone.
All right. I'm super excited to be here. Can you guys hear me? All right. So in honor of Women's History Month, I'm going to read some poems about women, or the experience that I have of being a woman. So I'm going to start with a poem called Being Solo, and this is specifically in honor of solo moms. Being a solo mom is like butterfly kisses, like good morning whispers, like fighting the good fight, like overcoming Goliath, like deep breaths in the dark, like invisible success, like needing a shot of whiskey, like ugly crying at the kitchen table, like only one shot because cupcakes need to be made in the morning, like being an economist, like free falling into the abyss, like craving a helping hand, like holding your own hand, like measuring time with her little hand pressed against mine, like I wish I could stop time, like if only her father could see what I see, like reminding myself even then it wouldn't matter. like wiping boogies in the night, like rubbing her back because at least I can do that. Like getting sick because it's inevitable, like asking myself, what would my mother do? Like keeping it moving, but still feeling stagnant, like still feeling stagnant and feeling enraged for having to do this alone. Like defending my motherhood because of my blackness, like defending my blackness and owning my motherhood. Like being invisible yet there enough to be a target. Like not being able to breathe, like waiting for a safe moment to inhale, like wanting to be held and carried and touched, like trying to remember that mothers can be lovers too, like realizing that mothers can have their hearts broken into two, like wanting to make a decision with another, like waiting for a safe moment to exhale, like having forgiveness to breathe again and again, like wondering, what would my father do? Like missing my protector, like turning into a hunter when I just want to be a nurturer, like becoming the protector when I just need to be protected, like wearing red in honor of my warrior feminine, like wearing pink underneath to feel my pretty, like working my magic and fixing things, like wiping away tears in the night, like gratitude from a sweet little face, like watching love grow in the form of years, like watching love grow in the form of never-ending shoe sizes, like only one parent at the recital, like pretending everything's okay, like making it okay, like moving mountains, like choosing to focus on right now, like sewing up her favorite teddy bear, like trying to find her favorite dress, but in a bigger size, like never giving up because she's watching, like God is watching, like watching my motherhood unfold, like watching my motherhood turning into gold, like realizing I'm doing this on my own, like realizing I'm doing this on my own. Yeah. Like realizing I'm always going to be someone's home. Like choosing this path because that's what needed to happen. Like loving myself more than ever before for all of it. Thank you. All right. This next one is called Strong Black Woman. And often I'm told, and many other Black women are told, that we are strong Black women. And sometimes when you hear it over and over and over again, or over time, I should say, it starts to feel like a weight instead of a compliment. So I wrote this in honor of that awareness. So here it goes, Strong Black Woman. Telling me that I am a strong Black woman is not a compliment. I had nothing to do with it, being Black or woman. Would it make sense to say, what a strong white man? Or, what a strong white woman? You see, what is implied is that because of the color of my skin, I have endured struggle after struggle. Therefore, I'm built to handle it. Not just handle it, but handle it all. And to do so with a smile. You see, or to do so with a smile, with a boldness, with invisible success, with the strength of 10 men without receiving their value or credit. But that don't matter. That just means I'm stronger. I can handle it. And handle it longer. I am used to it. I wouldn't know any other way to be. Rest? Who needs it? Not me. You see, the pain is not pain to me because I've been there. I've done that. I will always go through that because that is what is expected of me. Therefore, I am a strong Black woman. A type of superwoman. I'm soulful, deep, wise. Tired feet? That's not me. Because I'm built differently. I'm a lean, mean fighting machine. I'm too numb to feel. Better make sure I'm smiling because I'm representing all who look like me. Better to be a strong Black woman than an angry Black woman. See, there's no room for rage, not when I'm on stage. So I must dance and smile and fight and smile and smile and fight and smile. And I can't let my people down because they need me. Black people need me. Africa needs me. The diaspora needs me. But what if I put down the cape for just a moment? What if I put down my fist and took a rest for a moment? What if I played hooky from being a strong Black woman and just wrote a poem today? What if I ate ice cream on a cold day? What if I added chocolate cake? What if I did that while my daughter's still at school? What if I broke all the rules and watched the movie? What if I looked into my lover's eyes and let him move me? What if he looked back and saw the real me? What if I just meditated on my daughter's smile? What if I just melted for a while? What if I just sat in a cozy corner and read a dystopic sci-fi thriller? What if I wrote one? What if I just gazed out at the sunset and remembered God? What if I painted the sky and felt heaven? What if I closed my eyes and imagined what it'd be like to fly? What if I prayed gratitude for the loves in my life? What if I just threw on a pretty dress and just felt pretty tonight? Why does the world deny me a respite? What if I got it all done for me without the weight of the world on my shoulders? And just because I am strong doesn't mean I want to be. If that offends you, I'm not sorry. To be relentlessly called strong implies that you have built muscle, tough skin from carrying heavy weight for long periods of time. But ain't I a woman? Don't I get to feel dainty and petite for just a moment? And ain't I a woman? Don't I get to feel delicate and vulnerable for just a moment? I don't need to be rescued. I just need a refuge from being Black and strong and woman for just a moment. I am the dutiful daughter. I am the honorable mother. I am the ever-loyal lover. I know that I'm the untiring worker, and I know that I am all of it and more all of the time. But right now, I just want to sit in the stillness, in the quiet, and feel my own life. If that offends you, I'm okay with it. Because I am a woman, and I am Black, and I am strong. But most importantly, I am human. Thank you. All right, this is my last one. This one's called I Want to Feel. And so this one is really in honor of women honoring their own sensuality and sexuality, because we're often told as girls growing up into being women that it is not okay to be expressive. It's not okay to look available. It's not okay. We get all these limitations on how we're supposed to act and how we're supposed to be, and then we end up finding ourselves in these relationships where we can't actually say what it is that we want. We can't express how we want to be touched. We don't know how to say what it is that we want. And so this is dedicated to us honoring how we want to feel, how we want to be touched, how we want to express ourselves when we are with that someone. So I hope this liberates someone today. So it's called I Want to Feel. I want to feel love. I want to fall so deep in it that I swim past the oceans of my blues, past the scarlets of my hurts until I am suspended in purple. I want to feel the kind of love where you would find Jesus and Miss Magdalene looking up at the stars. I want to float in that paradise Muhammad speaks of where Siddhartha becomes Buddha and all there is love. And I want to make love the way leaves fall from trees, changing colors before they touch the ground, from the greens to the reds to the yellows to the browns, trusting freely, letting go completely, and then hopelessly falling all over again. I want that kind of orgasm, that please, don't, end, but it does so that we can do it all over again. That mental, spiritual, physical connection where everyone is one and everything is within me. And I want to be his friend so that when we touch, all hurt mends. I want to pay homage to his soul. I want to dance in his heart and master the art of him. I want to know the very essence that makes him him. I want to take all of his hurts, put it in a box, give it wings, and make it fly far, far away. I want to kiss his intellect. I want to wrap myself in his mind and let him do what he wants with it. I want to be a student and let him teach me the ways of his inner, most private thoughts. I want to experience the unfolding of like attracts like, and I like the notion of him enjoying my physics. I want to sip him like midnight coffee, like green tea in the morning. I want to lick the steam off his body. I want to wake up next to him, wake him up in the early morning, rock him, and put him back to sleep. I want to make him think he's still dreaming. I want to walk out of his dreams with nothing on but the mocha of my skin and make him believe that we are in the Garden of Eden. I want to show him a good night story and leave him with the taste of the salt from my chinny chin chin. I want to fall in love with him, on top of him, and let him groove to me, in me, with me, and I want to fall so deep that he sings my name. And I will ride every note of his song until he screams my name, chants my name, whispers my name, oh, Mical, until I find new meaning in my name. And my name will be synonymous to the sounds of love. Thank you. All right.
Well, goddamn. You can't even host after a poem like that, let alone. So everybody, let's say good luck to Don Juan Carter-Woodard.
What's going on with y'all? This one right here is one of the ones I got committed to memory, you know. It was during a class that we ended up doing. I was sitting over here trying to figure out why it's hard to teach kids, or at least certain ones, you know. So this one right here was one that I committed to memory. It's called Young Black Man. Time is moving fast, flow with the tide to get crushed. I'm black and proud, the whole world wants to be us. The alpha and omega, ash to ash, dust to dust. My soul is infinite, a spirit that you can't touch. But I'm from Oakland where they building soldiers daily. Post-traumatic stress that'll drive civilians crazy. My city is a war zone, bullets flying don't faze me, and death is a reality. Sometimes we lose babies. Times is shady, so the youth ain't got their mind right. Lack of self-worth keep them living that crime life. Mama is a hoe and his daddy about to do life. His granny smoked coke and his brother died last night. If you can't see life through his eyes, how can you feel his pain? Like 13 snorting heroin to maintain. They didn't teach him about this culture, so he gang bang. And everybody he be around do the same thing. They throw children in the jungle, tell them stay alive. With no guidance, but you criticize how they survive. Try to tell them not to steal, but you won't help provide. Let's really call it what it is, dog, it's genocide. If you live half of this, you might commit suicide. There ain't no options in the hood, it's either do or die. But with a little stability, he might want to go to college, find a different path, and acquire some knowledge. Instead of trying to reach him, you just throw him in detention. Say he's a lost cause, that boy just don't listen. Now here goes the question, how well would you pay attention if you hungry than a mug with no food up in the kitchen? Let me guess, you'll probably say that child's in danger. Call up CPS and make him live around strangers. Now he worry about his mother, reminiscing about his brother, and you got the nerve to wonder why he's filled with anger? Hard living weighs you down like an anchor. Proper resources provide for great thinkers. Every conversation gives him ammunition, so be careful because you either load up his mind or a banger. Young black men. All right. So with these ones right here, I don't have committed to memory, so I'm gonna go ahead and read. Is that okay? Okay. All right. This one right here is called Not Another Martyr. You hear the name of it, so just bear with me. I feel numb, malnourished spiritually, sensory deprivation on steroids. Another man is, no. Another father is, no. Another brother is, made the statistics. About to become slogan, t-shirt, fast becoming a memory martyr, who never once asked to be. But tears, I have none. These tear ducts have dried from constant use, while the media tries to justify an excuse, but really the fact is, a human being went for help at a hospital and didn't make it home. Not from malpractice, but from excessive force. Feeling that this robbery of children of their loving father should constitute a different response. The profile of a man that looks just like me, his life was pilfered. Wanting to ask why, but common sense slaps me in the head and saying, boy, don't ask no dumbass questions like that. You know the answer to. Trying not to lose my mind and take a look from a bird's eye view. But damn it, it's hard to look at the bigger picture. Nobody wants to be your new cause. I do not wake up with the intention to be the reason you march. I can't, scratch that. I won't deny how easy it is to be another casualty of war. Not nobody believes it is going on. But on this day, we mourn another brother. Makes me ask if hospitals are safe for black people. When I can go in COVID positive, but leave out in a body bag. Wondering if they make his death COVID related. I wonder if he was vaccinated and why they did not save him. From the knees on necks, how a cough was encountered by a choke slam. How do you deny me the ability to go home only to make sure that I never leave again? This is a textbook narrative. This is not a new story, where they believe we should be, and how sometimes protocol can go too far. Another son, another father, another black man. We are tired of being your martyrs. Thank you. Hold on, give me a second. All right, so this next one right here, I ended up doing in an anthology that we all ended up putting together. A lot of the beautiful people here, they was all a part of it. This right here was a life constitute of things that I've already been through, you know, just so you can kind of see it from my eyes, because I notice that sometimes it's hard to digest if you've never dealt with it. So I just want to give you a glimpse on what it is that I've experienced, right? So this one right here is called The Moment I Realized. Blood has a tendency to drip slowly. The metallic taste is undeniably familiar. The hunk of flesh hanging is exposed in the night breeze, gives it a minty chill. This was the night that I learned that physical wounds can heal way better than emotional ones. The feeling I had when those lights flashed behind me, those bright cherries and blueberries, was almost the equivalent of seeing a tiger prowling. The adrenaline in my frontal cortex was racing at full speed. The encounter was deafening, especially after the first blow. Handcuffed is a struggle to find shelter from the raining fists. Senses fully aware, although I wish they wouldn't be, I can still smell the gloves that the officer wore. How he asked me questions that he physically restrained me from answering. The grip around my throat crushing any chances of words escaping. Being non-compliant, I fall victim to the rabbit punches. Cries for help stolen in the wind. Screaming for help seems useless when the perpetrator is the protection as well. And as a gesture of mercy, you uncuff us and leave us to tend to our own wounds. 2 of us, 6 of y'all, and I was only 16. This was the moment that I realized you were the enemy. The fear and hatred is a cocktail so toxic, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Don't tell me how we need police if you cannot explain to me their point of origin, why officers were once overseers of slaves, and for years, many years, they overlooked Friday nights, just like these. Being a black man in America, we fall victim to you repeat offenders. The steel ball from your nigger beater 2000 that sent electricity to my head, although you hit me in my leg. The worst part about being pepper sprayed is reliving the moment in the shower trying to wash it out your hair. The moment I seen my kids crying as you placed me in the back of a squad car, but this was only supposed to be a simple trip for Chinese food. The fact that my 15-year-old sister started her period the day you kicked my mother's door in, which you also refused to replace, placing this terrified minor in shackles only to make no arrests. Yes, you are the enemy. I notice how blood has a tendency to drip slowly, and this metallic taste of blood is way too familiar. These physical wounds heal, but these mental scars, the built-up cortisol in my system, that may kill me anyway. Hypertension running rampant in the black community. PTSD comes more frequent than school supplies and fresh food for children. When we set our kids down for the talk, it's no longer about the birds and the bees, but those cherries and blueberries. What would life be like without the police? For me in particular, the world would be a safer place. Thank you. I believe I got a couple more, so I'm going to go ahead and give you all a few more. All right, so this one right here, I wrote this for, we live in America. One of the biggest things that we have here is war. We know better than anybody that war is big business, and sometimes us being the little brother that becomes the bully, we stick our nose in places that it doesn't belong. This right here was wrote for something else, but I'll let you figure out where it stands now, okay? It's called These Rocks. These rocks outweigh your tanks. These rocks that we pluck from the earth, stones crumbled, that we once placed, that was once a place of worship, now a rock quarry. Buildings reduced to nothingness, these rocks. I hurled these rocks at your tank. This gesture sounds useless, futile in the gaze of military weapons, missiles shot into the heavens, same place we send our prayers of relief, only theirs come back faster. These rocks are a symbol, not of foolishness nor of insanity, but of the same courage that David had, fighting against a powerful oppressor, armed with nothing more than a sling and these rocks. How do you honor David? By becoming Goliath. There is no peace in the Middle East, no words to describe what we see, but I have a few: murder, annihilation, ethnic cleansing, Holocaust, extermination. These rocks, we stand on rocks, we sit on rocks, we sleep on rocks, we die on rocks. These rocks are a symbol of a country's spirit. How do you watch these atrocities and feel nothing? The limbs of children taken from young bodies, the missing eyes of a grandmother struck by shrapnel, the deafening of a 3-month-old baby from close-range bomb and missile strikes, all to defend the land that you have lived on for centuries. Semi-automatic weapons, 7.62 shells cover the ground, RPGs fly in the sky, all against these rocks. I got one more? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna give y'all one more. No disclaimers, I'm just gonna give it to y'all. It's called Vitriol. I never once wanted Caucasian approval. Or maybe I did once upon a time, standing in the mirror, calling the name of stolen people, the desecration of our ancestors. Guess it's too long of a list for me to say all of their names 5 times. Intertwined in a twisted board game, living on the back of the world's biggest bully, Big Bad Baby Brother. We're not a nation, but an entity, born only to live the standards of the UCC codes and maritime law. Nothing holds real value to you when you live in the store. All we do is take and sell, buy and bargain, being told that peace is worth fighting for, and in most cases, worth dying for. But it seems like we always throw the first punch. Bombs over Baghdad. Bomb first, nigga. Reminiscent of the days that kids outside singing bombs over Baghdad, pharmaceutical companies begging for a shipment, the pack is running low. Opium is gold in purple bub form, fentanyl, killing off addicts one line at a time. We sell the bullets and the Band-Aids. God bless America. Play me a solo, little drummer boy, accompanied by the world's smallest violin, as I pay minimum wage for a group of illegal immigrants to build a wall only to keep them out, wishing my Colombian coffee wasn't touched by Colombians, screams the Karen in the Starbucks drive-thru, listening to her favorite TikTok song, memorizing the steps that we can't have democracy without war. Save the pacifists behind the Twitter posts, who in 35 years has never even gotten into a real fist fight. Funny, the first ones initiating the fight are never the first ones dying. A riddle wrapped in an enigma, being anything other than white in America is a stigma, underneath the same dogma, praying at the same altar, one nation under God, with altcoins and new vaccinations for all. There we go.
Come on, do better than that. Man, they keep making it hard on each other, but always up for the challenge. Nia McAllister.
Consort of the spirits, after Ntozake Shange. There are road maps in my great-great-grandmother's braids. She keeps seeds in there too, because where we are going, home must come with us. Tell me how your mother hides spices in the hem of her skirt, tucks hymns behind her ear and calls it packing for tomorrow. Do the women in your family hide rosewater in their saliva, sage in between their thighs? Because how dare we sleep on strange land without blessing? There are black-eyed peas in my auntie's coin purse. She keeps moonlight in there too. Because luck is far more precious than loose change. Tell me how your sister folds indigo leaves between her toes, smuggles cotton flowers under her arms, and promises that where we are going, there will be color? Do the women in your family wrap beeswax around their ring fingers, tuck matchsticks in their collarbones, and vow that we will never know darkness? I carry a cowrie shell in the crook of my arm. It sings when my twins are near. I wear sea glass upon my ears because where we are going, there will be music. They call this survival, but we know better. Where there is a woman, there is magic. They call this survival, but we pack what we must because what we return to may no longer be ours. They call this survival, but this ritual of making to leave before knowing where we're headed is how we birth futures. They call this survival, but the body is a compass, and we are each other's destination. This next one is for Nia Wilson. The road's so dark you can barely see them. Hands up in surrender. Silhouette hugged tight to the concrete, so you can't separate skin from sidewalk. It's ironic, though, because dead men don't walk. Which begs the question, who gets to walk alone at night? We already know black hands are a crime of possession, but possession becomes prize, becomes prey when they see hips before hands. And these curves are too fine to be called a four-way stop. We all know no stop ain't in the vocabulary. Nobody comes running to save black girls. We just gotta carry the world's problems and pick up our own selves after. I'm fine on my own, but maybe I don't want to be so alone. So my hands stay wrapped around the sharp edge of my keys because what's the value in locked doors when there's nobody home to open them? Home is but a feeling, and somebody's home away from home is now a chalk outline on the corner of liberty and justice because this is America, land of the free. Say her name. They locked up history today, barred the doors, threw away the key, and called her truth false. 4 walls between her and her children said, hush. These walls not for talking, only home wrecking. It's here we learn grievance cannot be rehearsed. Justice only got catcalled once today. Not bad for a missing woman. If she's invisible in the first place, who's to say she was ever here? Sis got taken too. So now we take to the streets saying, no justice, no peace. We yell our sisters' names against the chorus of, what'd she have on? To which we cry, defiance. So she was asking for it? To which we remind them, nobody's got time to look inviting when there are revolutions growing beneath our tongues. What's that? You couldn't hear over all the white noise? Here we learn fragility doesn't listen anyways. So as history tells us, we must repeat ourselves. No justice, no peace. $650. They name the streets after presidents around here, the dead and not so dead, They alphabetize them, rank them, make entrance exam of our sidewalks. It helps us remember that our streets, like our surnames, are somebody else's blood legacy. I didn't live on the other side of the tracks, but I lived on the other side of Jefferson. To some, I just repeated myself. I didn't live on the other side of the tracks, I lived on the other side of Jefferson. A surveilled intersection, a crosswalk waiting to claim another school child. My mother gripped my hand tightly at every opportunity. She knew Clinton was too busy to ever see us coming. There was never any place to park on Adams Street, and our neighbor kept his 3 Jeeps, his boat, and his nephew's fleet in the red zone he painted for himself. My mother still writes chalk messages along the pavement telling them that 2 cars can fit in the space in front of our house. She is proud of her curbside protest, a reminder that we're not going anywhere. In 4th grade, my friend and I used to post up in the backyard with a pair of binoculars, spying on the gangs in the apartment building behind us. Today, I visit my parents, and poodles and puffer vests walk down our potholed alley. I seem to have misplaced my binoculars. They named the streets after dead presidents around here, installed flashing lights, painted a mural of brown children on the wall of Whole Foods. Our block is now worth millions. I imagine my mother the first day I walked to school alone, anxiously perched on the top step of the porch, willing the cars to slow down. They only see you coming from the other side of the street. I still look both ways before I cross. And I'll leave you with one more. In the day, diamonds are in the water. The only time the ocean cut me, I bled stories. They said, what a beautiful yet terrifying thing it is to be free. They said, we have traveled years to bring you our names. We knew you'd forget them, or worse, never recognize them in the first place. They said, remember me, unfold your tongue, gather in your hand all the cities your foremothers birthed freedom in, scatter milkweed seeds in the wind, and call us home. So waterlogged and weary, I bandage my wounds with diamonds and rise from seafoam memory, homebound. I have never been far from the page. How else to learn what moonlight looks like through blue-eyed promises? Oh, but to be Sonia, to be Tony, to be wind in a cotton field scattering marigolds. I wish I knew Arkansas clouds like I do the lines on a palm, like I do the recipe for forgiveness. Joy is memory in the refrain, magic too hopeful to stay hidden. See, the trick to befriending stories is listening, after all. Yet sometimes belonging cannot be traced by tide lines or railroads carved out of the night sky, but rather dog-eared pages and overdue book finds. Having a library to owe things to makes one at home, right? So we write, we sing, we rename our story legacy before they claim we were never here in the first place. Find us on the page. As she said, this is the first place this is the first battlefield we play on. Here our words dance, and so we too leap into blissful surrender. And one day we will fly, and one day we will fly. Thank you.
Give us some more. Come on now. And now we have to bring our brother in from the cold. Come on down here, James. Y'all in for a special treat. My brother, James Cagney. Get him to the microphone. Get him all the way.
Hey, everybody. Good afternoon. At any given moment, poetry will be read. Please stand by. I didn't realize where I was. Oh, there it was. About the alderman's abusive attitude in Alabama. Because barbiturates were banned by a brazen, cutthroat committee composed of controversial diplomats dedicated to deconstructing democracy, we've had to execute every embarrassed engineer found fornicating in fields of Forsythia. Given the governor's generous gift of gab and his habit of inhaling horse and hobnobbing with horny heads of state, he instituted injecting inmates with isotopes of ink. Psh, but he's just jaw-jacking and jiving. The Justice Department knows he has a knack for bad karma. Just keep knocking. Keep on keeping on. Look at the laws laid down late last night by these losers lacking morals, yet made to mock and mimic the moral majority. Neurotic nitwits nervous about the news on nepotism. Observe how only under oath do they obey orders, patiently paraphrasing past penalties, quietly questioning the quality of our quarterly quests, resisting our rage. They rarely raise reasonable responses, somehow sponsoring suicide selfies and selling sneakers to stalkers, taking test and turn-up technicians on trips to Tucson under unregulated unions that don't understand the various vocations of villagers, all victims caught on video being violated without warning, without warrants, while you watch excommunicated movie extras as they Xerox Xenio youngsters yodeling yesternight across the yard in a zoo not zoned for zigzagging zombies. Wow. And that is what you call a warm-up. It doesn't matter if you don't know the blues, but part of the blues mythology is the idea of the crossroads, the sort of like place where you go to sell your soul to become an expert in music. And at some point it occurred to me, if you zoomed out from the crossroads, what neighborhood is that? What houses are in that vicinity? What does that look like? So this is called House of Slams and Hollers. And I dedicate this to my father's great uncle, Alie Jordan. Who occupies the storefront houses at the crossroads? Shotgun houses like abandoned churches. One house slouched behind the musty aroma of trees. Windowsill radio chatters like a bird on caffeine. The living room smells swampy with ashes and bottle caps. Kitchen of vintage graveyard shift coffee. Boiled viceroys. Cicadas with exoskeletons of brandy and chickens chained in the backyard. Night turns over, haunted with moths. Air cooled with shuffled decks and howling hounds missing hell. The methane of certain ghosts gets drawn like window shades, dealt in, poured shots at this place where the road crosses its legs like a gentleman. Here lies the uncharted territories of some blues, stigmata blues, razor blade blues, blues for lips just out of reach, Blues screaming blouses of plaster down bedroom walls. Choirs of apocalypse blues ignite the red wicks of their tongues. Sing harmony to calm Bluegill River for Saturday's baptism of hot lead. Dawn rises with fire on its mind, takes off its top hat. Names smile from his mouth in comets, false crosses. Anything not already on the ground, holding on, praying, then grabbed a shotgun, a guitar, and ran. All right. Yeah. This is called Flames of Genesis. Every night, I am murdered in my sleep, only to awaken radiant and naked beneath dawn's monsoon of blood. This white Genesis occupied by the proudly illiterate after labeling the tree of knowledge a controlled substance. Every night the bushes open its jaws of switches and my shift begins anew. My job in this garden of perennial thistles where I'm forced to sharecrop, name the bite style of each fresh animal rushing from the double-gated house above me. Describe the complex flavors in poisoned saliva, pepper, citrus, rust. Tag ivory monuments in bubble lettering, new words for being spat out and eaten again. Determine the tasting notes between mauling for recreation or slaughter triggered by fear. I am made in the image of illegally moving targets. My ribs open nightly, blossom of beef mushrooms, its aroma singing to the sky. Night opens its drooling jaws in praise of me. That is good. We're almost done. That's good. Yeah, this is called Untied. The tongue as knife as grenade. The tongue as pilot light to volcano. The tongue as butterfly shrapnel spraying radioactive glass. The tongue as battering ram, axe handle, desecrated cross, trigger. The tongue as begging puppy, as monster truck. The tongue Russian necktied for a joke. The tongue as assassin, a ninja jangling with blades, cross-stepping the grassy knoll. The tongue as wooden stake, silver bullet, an earthquake with lightning in its hair. The tongue begging kryptonite to freebase. The tongue as apple and serpent rolling its jellied eggs into the ear. The tongue loaded, unlicensed, and steaming with cordite, trying to finish something that never should have started. The tongue, having kissed every wound from inside out, is jealous of bone. The tongue has heard of the heart but doesn't believe in it, prefers the pulse in dice. The tongue as a wall, a trench, a gate, fool's gold in moonlight. The tongue tied into a straitjacket, scatting. The tongue, a lead weight dropped onto a garden of peonies, a nest of starlings. The tongue, misfired, misplaced, misspoke in our last conversation. The tongue, armed, blows a hole through its nearest cheek. The tongue, thorny and uphill, single-bladed and double-barreled. The tongue as museum, snowing through autumn. The tongue gets it, yes, 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 but how it loves spitting no. And last, one of the things that I really liked during the shutdown of the pandemic is watching reaction videos. And I spent a night watching these brothers drink and watch ghost videos, and then I wrote a pantoum, okay? So this is called Ghost Homies. Don't feel bad about yourself, but you a lunatic. First time I see that, I'm out. Go on with your afterlife. You just want to be a ghost the whole time, punk ass? I ain't gonna lie. You did your thing. You came from the other side and actually grabbed me. You can have all this of what you got. I'm gonna get up out of here. Go on with your afterlife. You just want to be a ghost the whole time, punk ass? That sucks. You got a child sitting there ripe for possession. You can have all this of what you got. I'm gonna get up out of here. Ghosts trying to put hands on people. I ain't here for that. Squad out. We gotta go, G. Burn it down. That sucks. You got a child sitting there ripe for possession. I ain't gonna lie. You did your thing. You came from the other side and actually grabbed me. Ghosts trying to put hands on people. I ain't here for that. Squad out. We gotta go, G. Burn it down. Don't feel bad about yourself, but you a lunatic. First time I see that, I'm out. All right, thank you guys very much.
Man, do I really have to ask for more for what you just saw? Next up, Adrienne Danyelle Oliver.
Good afternoon. I'm going to start with an invocation. Sage. Sitting with my pages, ages from the sages. Sage is burning, a turning in my bones. Fire this time, feeling just like a Jones. Mama on the phone, spitting these lines about days long gone. Shut up in my bones. Sometimes my neck hurt, and I think I see a scar. Back in time so far. How it get here, starting in my back, shackling a clack, clack, clack. Take a picture, sell a postcard from the edge of my black. This universe verse in my past life I rehearsed, curtain call from the hearse. The words I speak are hers and hers and hers. Sun shining, new day, what my ancients got to say. Use the fuse in me as a light, Ashe. A poem about fibroid tumors. 1. The Black woman body carries Africa in her womb, cargo of bodies waiting to be crucified or set free. The body remembers how the strongest cargo, knowing freedom, is death, jumped and returned to the ship as angels, while the deceived with eyes adjusted to darkness, nose to the smell of despair, cultivated another strength to pray. My belly carries ghosts, a returning, a watching over corpses and living bodies, too. I learned to shrink as an accommodation, shoulders developing knots from squeezing closed around lungs, pumping restricted breaths. When the white lady doctor tells me I need to have a hysterectomy, I understand that what she is really telling me is this: carry over in a ship named Good Intent, the body been wearied by this voyage, and white lady doctor don't understand how an African womb stretched across the Atlantic and crucified can still bring forth life, can commune with hope. I listen to the white lady doctor. I read her intentions and her right to vote as well intended, but no, she will never understand the plight of Mother Africa to African American. Battered, terrorized, dispossessed. Tears and black boy coffins and black girl church bombings turned blood in the Ferguson streets because it's cotton picking season in Mississippi, in Alabama, Missouri, Minnesota, Georgia, Texas, and everywhere else. 3, like slave ship, my body carries life and death. Riding carnage and breathing captive suffers the most damage. Knows it, she, the universal black womb is crying out in chorus, and the white lady doctor's response is hurried suddenly after 400 years, rip out the womb, toss her out in a hazardous materials bag. Matter-of-factly, she offers black hat solutions as if talking to a child anticipating doves. I have 2 other options besides the illusionist show. 1, I can live with bleeding, blood in the streets. 2, I can be cut with her help, have tumors removed, empty the ship in America, land of the free, and try ignoring the smell of death. Sweep remnants of clinking shackles to corners in the fields of my mind, but cotton picking season is year-round in America's soul. And what harm is damaged cargo in a ship on fire, a ship full of cancer cells breeding ghosts? Still, I decide to dance with the haunted womb on troubled water. This ain't about Crohn's disease. Shout out to Mad Lines, one of the first to hear this poem. It means so much. It all started with an incision. Doctor's decision that the collision in my tiny body was too much. It was the impact of this and that, hole in the walls that made the blood fall. Bloody in my water down the drain, I soon could not contain. I called my sister's name, Angel A, Angel A, Angel of light, giving mama's blind eyesight to the blood fall in my water down the drain. So much pain when the healing began. It all started with this incision, regaining my conscious and vision. I raised my gown, I saw the precision, staples in my belly down a line. In time they would heal, in time I'd be fine. In time I would heal, in time I'd be fine. Scar tissue sings praise at this gravesite. Healed precision is healing time. My last poem for Mama Mari. It's a celebration of our resilience and the tradition of Mari Evans. I am a Black woman. I am from a long lineage of can-do, of keep on keeping on, of you got this, girlfriend. I am not your escape, the one Black friend that eases your very white conscience. I am from the former Confederate States of the U.S. African enslaving A. I can't be your forgetting. I am Black tears not cast before that swine. I am a Black woman. I am a B-L-A-C-K woman. Minus the L-A-C-K. I am returning to. I am the original woman. I am free. I am not your magical Negra, not your light-skinned, easy-to-accept bae. I am not massa's homecoming. I am not fixing your dinner, rocking your cradle, or wet nursing your white guilt. And I am not leading the Soul Train line at your eggnog party. And no, you cannot, I repeat, shan't not. Ladies, touch my hair. I have crossed that Mason-Dixon line and made my hair my own field. I am a Black woman. Please pronounce my name right and put some respect on it. I am from Aretha Franklin, Patti LaBelle on a high note, Tina Turner on her way out the door. I am not your punching bag, and I will not eat the cake. I am a Black woman. Ashe.
Come on now. All that spiritual heavy lifting she just did for y'all, man, give us some more. And perfect for keeping the portal open, Tureeda Mikell. You got to get people all the way to the microphone now.
Oh. Wow. So, people are being fed today. You know, that's why you go home, you may not even be hungry. You're getting fed today, right? Give it up, please. Life roots imitate mother cells, mammary wells, water feeding trees, fertile water weaves, sun dipped in fire, lip to tongue, to weave and tail, encode in lung, and behave in behalf of memory sung. Flung in a wave, weaved around the world, an all seed, man, woman, boy, and girl, engraved in tone, sewed to bone in each one's temple, sternum, mother tongue. Where language sung survival, arrival in music, chanted voodoo, call it hoodoo to blues it. Have you been to the blue? Certainly, Lord. Versed a curse on earth as it is in heaven. In meters that mattered in 5, 6, and 7. In the DNA, the ground wire was laid. The law is in light, and Amun-Ra raided. Everyone's home and everyone's bones, elementing life in the mother tongue tone, in the mother tongue tone, in mother tongue tone. So why do we play it cool and dig all the jive, right? Yeah, play it cool and dig all jive of class and race and what feds say, like church and state has two separate gates, though U.S. presidents swear on Bible that says, you're born broken, babe. So play it cool and dig all jive. Beg forgiveness for lives barely living, accept cost to live, contempt for existing, catch bones from sins of Eve and Cain. Good little doggies bury, sheeple don't complain, illusion of inclusion sustains subtle bruising, totalitarians trust secures delusions, justice in just ice, judge schemes, degenerates telomeres, nerves, genes, alternative facts design, first rule of war, confuse the mind. You know, play it cool and dig all jive. Watch American hegemony fail, humanity grow frail, pawn nature's laws, prefer dogs maw, schizophrenic bipolar tyrannies, interrupt left-right brain responsibility, bank multi-trillion-dollar drug industries, entertain affliction, fear and addiction, police priests partner with disease. Promise the rapture will offer eternal peace in the hereafter. So what you hereafter? Huh? Join these heroically. Play it cool and dig all jive. Ignore strange fruit on poplar trees. Smell more funerals than weddings. Child sex trafficking, pornography, disappearance, houselessness, organ and attention harvesting. Genocide, suicide, GMOs, gain of function viruses, AI jabs with lipid nanos, mRNA plastics, G5, cellular toxins, endless wars, and spermicides. Is it all too much? Check suicide assistance site and play it cool and dig all jive. My people, and the baseline of much of the following, the next poems, and you may already hear, has a lot to do with a spiritual foundation we're resting on. And when you keep seeing the linear against the circular, so I'm addressing that in this poem. My people turned away from worshiping their source of miracle and magic done. My people turned away from worshiping earth, water, winds, stars, and sun so they could worship someone on a cross. Now so many are lost, deceived and made to believe guilt from another culture, a vulture polluting our well-beings with sights of non-realistic dreams. Now too many cry because too many die by sacrificial death worshiping lies. Tried to turn us from the sun and memories of water, fire, light, wisdom. Drums, sacred hums, trees holding seeds with enchantments and glories, telling stories, evoking magic, sacred names, bringing thunder, lightning, and rain. Lord of my law, my gods, my people, turn from senses. Engraved by life's light, where body was first scripture and earth by heaven held the scripts to the laws of life. From water spirit smells and spells with atmospheric wells of genetic keys. From wind's oracle messages through soft breezes. From mother tongue's sacred words connecting third eyes. From birds' seasonal flight messages in skies and the naming of our children for the presence in their lives. From earth where gardens had worth and birth was not an ongoing pain, where raising the young was not a fearful gain, where life wasn't frequently visited by the insane and maimed for and by a chemically synthesized, drug-infested, disease, murderous rain. Yes, my people are troubled, yet they secretly know the poisonous snake they fight each day as ancestral spirits whisper. Whisper miracles and magic done. With earth, water, wind, stars, and sun. Where darkened skin sung fire, light, wisdom, as dark simmering coals housing souls in spiraled rows of rainbow lights. Seers of scripted sights, yes, my people are troubled by what might have been, could have been before we allowed them to turn us away from worshiping earth, water, wind, stars, and sun so we could worship someone on a cross. but this too shall pass. Once you see the light enter the body, things will be directed unto you. August 2015, Saturn's Day, day breaks. Soul wakes, eyes zoom, scans room, then stops to look at a book title facing my bed, claiming earth, race, rage, rape, and redemption, by Hakeem Madhubuti. Book stares. I glare, remembering something. 27 bones are drawn behind that scene to pick up another title exposing "We Charge Genocide." Crime of government against the Negro people, published in 1950. A 242-page petition delivered to the United Nations by Eleanor Roosevelt, wife of former President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, edited and signed by William L. Patterson. That included the signatures of Paul Robeson, civil rights activist, and representatives from nearly every state in the United States. Memory is an insurance policy against loss. Memory is an insurance policy against loss. The cruelest thing you can do to a people is take their memory, take their memory, take their memory. How did I forget the purchase of this text? How did I forget? Spirit says, look up "We Charge Genocide" on the net. Found Sandra Bland's mother's Facebook page post, "We Charge Genocide." A day later, at Native American event, table displays, brochures cascading, "We charge genocide. We charge genocide. We charge genocide. We charge genocide." 3 days after, attend Tongo Eisen-Martin's book signing titled, "We Charge Genocide Too." Memory is an insurance policy against loss. Memory is an insurance policy against loss. The cruelest thing you can do to a people is take their memory, take their memory, take their memory. Then I remembered 1981, James Baldwin saying, "Something very brutal must be said about this great melancholy nation of ours, and if you don't believe me, you can ask the Indians. The intentions of this country's government has always been genocidal." Then remembered, year after, my interview with Kwame Ture, Stokely Carmichael, saying, "Education in this country makes you stupid, but what is worse, it makes you arrogant in your stupidity. The revolution is coming whether you want it or not. It is coming whether you want it or not. We must be prepared for what is coming." And in 2006, 55 years after the first petition of "We Charge Genocide" was signed and delivered to the United Nations, the late great President Hugo Chavez of Venezuela, addressing the United Nations, stated that the hegemonic pretensions of the American empire are placing at risk the very survival of the human species. We continue to warn you about this danger, and we appeal to the people of the United States and the world to halt this threat, which is like a sword hanging over our heads. And what did this one nation under a God who despises life answer? "And think not I come to bring peace on earth, but a sword." Memory is an insurance policy against loss. Memory is an insurance policy against loss. The cruelest thing you can do to a people is take their memory, take their memory, take their memory. And I think I have, oh, okay. This next piece you think about what's happened to us in this removal. I remember Jeff Numberg said something about the language keeps you at a certain remove. This next piece is called My Son. It's about the sun, because without it, what? My son, I will speak for you. Those scriptures mask your testimony from eyes that once knew your light, watched you walk upon waters, oversee flora, fauna, mammal, animal, bird, and sea creature. Obey your season's will, my son. Your garden legacy, deed you master, alchemist, chef, cook, sorcerer of elements. You feed multitudes, flavoring nature's seed womb, my son. Why falsify your records? Hide your light. Cut circuitry from innocent eyesight, masquerading one vow well with idol sacrifice, my son. Unclean spells stray from holy wellness, creates hell for pathologic wealth, degenerates generations, my son. An icon reads, think not I come to bring peace on earth. I come not to bring peace, but a sword. Why destroy peace in your wheel done? You are reason life on earth rolls through heaven. Instead, greed eats away trees, disconnects energies, deviates gravity, habitats for humanity, erodes truth, integrity destitute. Disputing life roots, they brainwash memory, branding you secondary, awaiting a Messiah as though your soul or light is not required, my son. Too many religious saviors, too many competitive death plans. Too many eyes look away from your radiance to revere a rote man. I need not wait for your return. Your morning light never ceases for what I yearn. You are my testimony, my sojourn, my light, my son. You not born of man or woman. You true light of this world. You my son, our holy reed, our spark of light that never sleeps. In heart and lung as we breathe, my son. Eyes will always rise to acknowledge you. Thank you. And then I'm going to end with a little lighter note, and I was trying to determine the Goldilocks or the Goldilocks. Yeah, Sparrow too, but Goldilocks is favorite, okay. This is something I've done because children would keep bringing me the book, The Goldilocks, story, Well, will you read the Goldilocks story? Can you read the Goldilocks? No, baby, because no. I mean, and this is in deep East Oakland, population primarily Black, Latino, So I said, no, I'm not going to read that one. I'm not going to read that one. So this came as a result. And I have a lighter version for the children, but this is the adult version, the Goldilocks cover-up, as a news broadcast, okay? This is the BWYB News. Be watching your back. The Goldilocks cover-up. This just in tonight, Goldilocks breaks in Three Bears' home. Three Bears charge Goldilocks, AKA the Golden Bandit, with illegal entry among several other crimes implicated early Tuesday morning. Witnesses say the intrusion took place just after the family left for a walk in the woods. It was stated when Golden Bandit knocked on the door and no one answered, she let herself in. Moments after alleged entry, a witness on the wing said, quote, I saw Bandit steal and consume Bear's food, vandalize the furniture, and sleep in baby Bear's bed, unquote. Investigators confirmed strands of blonde hair found in Baby Bear's bed did match that of Golden Bandit. Further investigations proved that the fried chicken, cornbread, sweet potatoes, and collard greens found on soiled clothing of Golden Bandit was indeed taken from Bear's stove day of alleged break-in. However, despite evidence leaning heavily against Golden Bandit, Bandit stated, "When the Bears arrived home from their walk in the woods, I feared for my life." A witness on the prowl confirmed Bandit's accusation, stating that he in fact saw Bandit flee from Bear's home, screaming repeated allegations of rape and attempted murder. Bandit's father, a Superior Court judge, stated he would prosecute the Bears to the fullest extent of the law and signed warrants for their arrest. Mr. and Mrs. Bear, held in Mad Polly Trick County Jail, sued Golden Bandit for illegal entry, theft, vandalism, loitering, and defamation of character. The Bears also sued for reparations they claim is due for injustices such as these reoccurring in their family's history for the past 500+ years. Sadly, however, Child Protection Services have placed Baby Bear in foster care until courts can further decide whether or not Mr. and Mrs. Bear are fit parents to raise baby in a safe, healthy environment. That's it for tonight. This has been the BWYB News, saying we tell the truth about the fairies on your tail.
Please, some more for Tureeda Mikell. Next up, Darius Simpson.
I like to start with 2 objective facts. One, banana is a terrible artificial flavor. And 2, it's okay to shoot back at cops. The black artist's role in America is to aid in the destruction of America as he knows it. Amiri Baraka. Tell my mama I'm up before 9 a.m., plotting escape from the empire again, throwing rocks at a man-made apocalypse, practicing my slingshot stance, trying to play dominoes with giants, trying to topple puppet governments. I am 2 decades late for therapy. 3rd generation off the plantation. Got a bad habit of maroon conspiracies. Got an attraction to new African landscapes. I got a mean 2-step for the after party. Tell the law nothing of substance. Tell the people everything you can. Tell no lies because it's raining pig tongues. Claim no easy way out because back doors break too. You know, it's a whole lot of textbook revolutionaries. It's a whole lot of part-time freedom fighters making full-time money off surviving the 60s. My father told me to keep my head down. I keep that in mind behind sandbag barricades. My poems don't mean shit if you don't see me. Outside is calling for a different kind of artist. One who knows the importance of food programs. One who knows the importance of spare mags. One who don't back down from defense. One who knows there is a time for canvas and a time to make political art out of a jawline. I live just east of a contradiction. Clumps of knotted human hair skip excitedly over sidewalk cracks and pairs. Screeching tires scrape murals into over-patrolled crosswalk paint. City tremors and zip codes shaken loose from indigenous childhoods. Colonialism don't respect finders keepers. All's fair in genocide, except self-defense. There are humans too familiar with the politics of thunderstorm forecasts. Squalor sitting right next door to neighborhood-sized apartment buildings, half-empty baby bottles rolling over broken glass under the freeway, brand new cop cars taking victory laps around decade-old encampments, dead grass grappling with the distance between beating hearts, piles of repurposed couch cushions, and bench warrants covered in sewage. Climate crisis is disgusted by how many civilians we pile on the curb. While profits skyrocket for empty housing units, while a high-rise crawls out the chapped lips of an investor. Okay, I'm not really sure how leasing works. I got my degree in human decency. I'm not really up on the latest ethics for ownership. All my comrades keep space on the couch and a spare blanket, push the weight limits of a Honda Civic, and there's always room. Wednesday is a good excuse to shoplift under capitalism. Yesterday was sufficient evidence to stack bricks near glass houses. Yesterday was sufficient evidence to stack bricks outside the courthouse. Yesterday was sufficient evidence to stack bricks outside the mayor's window. 1970s criminal records are waiting for academics to put on work boots. I'm not sure what's legal and what's tradition anymore, but at some point, y'all, sick of this shit should lead us to get rid of city council. Lest we be made of plastic promises too. Lest the young have a bone to pick. Lest that bone come from our inactive trigger fingers. Lest there be no land left to pick a fight on. I blame the suffering last for how we survived the winter. I blame the governor for flooded highways and raining ash. I blame poverty on vegan diet commercials and yoga studios. I blame police for lead pipes and poison middle school history lessons. I blame police for all the mornings my father bit his tongue on the job. I blame police for my lazy eye twitch and my obsessive desire to produce. You know, I blamed the sheriff's office last week when I stubbed my toe. It left an iron star-shaped blood stain in my sock. Upon hearing of the murder of Hakeem Littleton, well-meaning black person says, you know, he shot at the police, right? You know, he might not have had his hands up. You know, he did not mentor at-risk teenagers after school. You know, he was not up to date on his YMCA membership. You know, his license was suspended and his taillights shattered. You know, he wasn't wearing a lick of white when they found him, had his pants sagging, had his shirt untucked, had his lips unbuckled, dripping southern twang all on the concrete. It sounded like a mouthful of honeybees was stuck at the top of his throat. You know he was black? Like black, like dark roast coffee beans black, like ashy knuckles, cradling a bottle of wild Irish rose on the sidewalk black, like scarecrow, perched just outside the corner store doorway black, like purple tar gums and gold teeth, like paper bag hands and menthol breath, like empty black and mild wrappers stuffed in the glove compartment. I heard it wasn't even blood where they left him. I heard it was just stains of red Kool-Aid. I heard it was just puddles of strawberry pop fizz. You know, sugar would have got him if 12 didn't. You know his teeth were little yellowing daggers. You know he was a dragon, returned fire, went out in a puff of smoke. You know he was a weapon, didn't beg for his life or call for his mother or his partner. You know that nigga went out on his feet, brought a gun to a gunfight, brought mutiny to a slave ship at the Atlantic shoreline. You know that nigga was a nigga. And not like ha-ha nigga, not like next Democratic presidential nominee nigga, not like run fast, jump high nigga, like worm food covered in tree bark. Like lead water clogging an artery, like dead leaves stuck in a gutter, like storm the arsenal and shoot the masters. One of those give me liberty or give me blood types. That nigga had the nerve to want freedom and then go do something about it. And still, what y'all gonna march for him? What would Malcolm X's old zoot suit think? What would a white woman's rendition of Dr. King think? What would the noose say? What if they see us mourning and think we just as dangerous as him? What if I say liberation and they think I mean I hate America? What if I hate America, but don't know no other homeland? Shit, what if America hates me back and does something about it, but doesn't leave me time to shoot first? Thank you.
I think we're going to have to encore that brother, man. Bring him back up. Get him back up here.
Hey, what if I ain't had no more poems? This should be mighty awkward. To reiterate the two facts real quick, you know, banana is a terrible artificial flavor and it's okay to shoot back at cops. But if I'm caught between a badge and a hard place 3 hours after the streetlights turn on, will you church it? Will you pass it along pews of almost saints until it reaches the whole congregation? Will you tithe it? Will you stretch it thin like goat skin over the shell of a djembe drum? Will you slap it? Will you let the echo dance naked in the wet cave of your throat? Will you bark it? Will you sing it like my mother is listening? Will you inhale until your lungs nearly burst, then inhale some more, then inhale some more, then and only then will you say my name? Will you put some stank on it? Will you juke joint James Brown it? Will you Jerry curl spray it? Now, how can I rest in peace or power if you get all lazy-lipped when you talking about me? Will you scoop it thick? Will you stir it slow? Will you mac and cheese it? Will you to spread the savory over your tongue? Will you let it marinate? Will you serve it with Sunday dinner? Now, if you say my name and cast iron skillets don't start to rattling, that mean you ain't say it loud enough. Will you say it again? If an oak tree don't split open from the trunk, that mean you ain't pronounce it right. Will you say it again? Will you redecorate this city in streams of fire after me? Will you paint downtown a scorching hue? Will you stain the sky in black smoke? Will you tell ghost stories over the ashes of this empire? Will you scream it? Will you stand outside in the clutter of some rush hour traffic to let these motherfuckers know what kind of boots I wore? Will you stomp it into the soil of the last place where I laughed with my whole body? Will you dance it? Will you Saturday night praise it? Will you tambourine it? Will you drunken favorite song shout it? Will you full moon howl? Will you shriek? Will you moan? Will you chant? Will you live? Will you cry? Will you cry for me? Will you?
Keep it going for Landon Smith.
I am on pace to be called a nigger 212 times by summer. It is January, and there are only 10 days left in this month. And I refuse to be a corpse by the 3rd, but catch me fist closed on the 4th, and I might be gone by the 5th if this white woman in power has her way. Which is the same as that white man in that seat, which is the same as that last missed check, which is the same as that eviction notice. My mother says the cloth of my ancestors makes me bulletproof. So I put on a new head wrap every time passive-aggressive headshots fire off of cradled tongues down into the gutters of unswept streets where I'm told that I belong. And I walk around with cash in case I pass another cardboard sign, giving a fortune to crates just to see more hungry mouths the next month. It's almost like I cannot fix these encampments on my own, like starvation is intentional, like billions in surplus don't exist. Maybe by the end of this poem, you can tell me what the cause is, while I kick 3 more election pamphlets off my doorstep since I don't do drugs on Tuesdays ever since my neighbor overdosed on Kamala Harris bumper stickers. Meanwhile, the city of San Francisco made $90 million in parking tickets just to not have affordable housing, just to hire more pigs to put tickets on windshields, to pay for pigs putting tickets on windshields, and my last $60 goes to the cardboard sign again. You know, a fist fight is always fair to a waistband with a gun tucked inside. You know, an eviction is always fair to the feet standing on a bankroll. And my cousin told me not all skin folk are kinfolk, so I keep 2 feet in my back pocket so I land on my feet when I'm sucker punched between line breaks, and a neoliberal slides a judge lump sums to slide me into solitary silence so that a white tenured professor can tell you that these are not poems. These are lyrics. These are a soapbox. That they are too unhoused and must cut their hair before they deserve a home, because if you don't carve out a healing space, a legislator might use your flesh for sacrifice. Fascism fed farm to table. Grassroots campaign can't rid the stench of shit in the soil. National Guard on bureaucrat speed dial. Hey, tell them niggers not to loot, or air freshener is gonna spill blood onto ready-made caskets. We've seen this script before, yet y'all still ready to hold knives up to black arteries. Democracy just a fable we rode past, crossing into this cemetery we wake up in on a loop for the shards of black protest to get beaten into another voter campaign for Obama to stand next to a black woman, waving clinking chains of Asada, grinding bones in the soil backed by Biden budgets, virtue signal and progress just to express shit billy clubs. And kill the English dictionary in you, and you might be a revolutionary by nightfall. Offer your last breath to the asphalt, it'll ask if you at least fought back. Ask if you apologize to all the minute hands. Chain holder made a quilt out of your ancestors, sewed it loosely and told you, let it keep you warm. Never had a dream within this colonial opiate. Capitalists othered a railroad worker, then Silk Road traded them for dirt, threw pig at a labor strike and watched the bodies fall. Greasy palms oil prison pipelines while a moderate preaches reform. Property tax still funded school budgets, and they got the nerve to tell me to grab a picket sign while a rock land right here. Smoke and mirrors breeding infighting over blood money. All money is blood money. Thought we made it out the cotton fields just to be grandfathered in. Heard a whip crack in a handcuff class, in a sentencing hearing, in a salary negotiation behind bulletproof plantation windows. But see, I've dragged my lineage through dirt roads, sandstorms, scraping knees on cement cinder blocks stacked in the way, my wrist cut deeply on the journey, salt water stinging bones showing before someone else tells me I'm healed, tells me to move on. When I grab lineage by their wrist, wiping off eraser dust with diamond flakes mixed in that they sold back to us saying that's all our hands were good for, losing limbs between borders some European gave name to, that I should be proud of, that Sing-Bay PA revolted to come back to. Maybe my wrist bleed on the chains he broke just to be Spielberged in white saviorhood. I feel my lineage weighted down beneath Valongo wharf remains, paved over just to be paved over, just to be built atop under silk covers, smelling like liberation strangleholds. While I drag lineage to a native language, not a native language, in hopes of speaking with lineage between borders and sandstorms I was told I didn't need to know. Enough Mende for struggle. I drag lineage with dislocated wrists, separated at the broken tree branch, telling stories in contradiction to a tall tale pillared by monuments and sand in my shoes. And if you don't call a cage by its name, history will glorify the bed that it gave you first. If you don't call a noose by its name, history will soften its fibers, tell you stories about unity and tree parties. But perhaps I am still hanging from a rope somewhere, And I do not have the wherewithal to see my own name memorialized in block and jar dirt. Perhaps I am still aspirating in a dungeon somewhere, unwilling to be dragged somewhere onto a boat for property maintenance. Perhaps I am pieces pieced together, still tied to previous iterations screamed into these breaths I now take with reluctance to revisit visualizations, knowing I am both here and in a rope, and in a dungeon, and in a chain anchor, straddling a past life and a half-life, unwilling to pass on pieces to any iteration of myself that does not understand that I am the last breath in a train track execution as much as I am the voice in a classroom. Keep seeing train headlights blinding my resolve. I am unable to breathe the air of the asphyxiated above dirt monument, not knowing what the strength looks like to hold that space on a straddle. My therapist keeps telling me I need to remember to breathe, but perhaps I am still hanging, still below ground, still afraid of a future with no future beneath a future of museum boxes and jars of dirt. Grappling with limbo, I am both here and nowhere, trying to find somewhere safe, somewhere free, somewhere not black and blue circle encrusted with settler colonialism telling me liberation is the ballot, or the billy club, the ballot, or the gun, the ballot, or the rope. Perhaps I am still hanging from a rope somewhere, trying to hold my grandfather's hand one last time before the sun rises, and the coroner tells you a story about how I did this to my own body, since singing letters to ghosts on glass podiums is gonna leave me empty. Sooner or later, we all pay tolls to the flames, fall out the left side of a casket still trying to measure up, get buried with ash in the suit line and talking about, at least I tried. Tried to talk to street signs in the dark. Tried to pull cotton from cufflinks like pretty shackles still don't clink. Performing odes to an overseer got us prophesizing to the dirt, at least that third voice never forgot you. Even if your own hands did. And that new black mare injecting hope in tied off wrists. Might have to go between toes when the high starts wearing off. Because Oakland downtown starting to look like San Francisco downtown, which starting to look like the same suit, which starting to look like the same wooden box buried 3 feet away from 9 school closures. I still taste the flames in this. So I must have burned every bridge up to this point. Yelling loud enough that my death doesn't mean more than my life. Look me in the eye and tell me you know the difference between a real poet and the bottom of a bottle. We play spectator to an assassination daily. Asking, how do pamphlets breed so many foot soldiers with no tongues? Senator took Juneteenth off, then outlawed teaching slavery. Told third grade art project cotton was always picked by machine. That history has no feelings. That empire only looks ahead through broken windows and unmarked graves. I'm on this grassy knoll every day, watching brain fragments get left behind for the sake of an idea that left my neck 4 inches longer, that took dinner table and put it on top of unburied bones, that took the other and slapped it on the next group to hate. But make sure those niggers stay right there, though. Multiculturalism, a dialectic away from a seminar table debating the efficacy of slaughter and the intellectual merit of a bourgeoisie coup. Regime change over cocktails and masks. Empire must have short memory. Empire must have short memory. Empire must have some memory. Empire must remember where the bodies are buried to avoid half-hearted apologies. A real poet told me once that not every story has to appeal to the heart. It can appeal to the spine, severed vertebrae shouting, hear me out, from straitjacket buckles and scratches on cement walls that made my spine property of the state, that made me 2/3 of a past the future left blood-stained baton swing, slush fund bomb exploding outside what used to be my bedroom wall just long enough for the taste of rubble to be family heirloom. Nobody even asked where I wanted my body to be buried. I'm talking to this soil like everything is a weapon formed against me. Melatonin making Medgar Evers my docent on this impending bullet train. Woke up 10 times lost. Coroner can tell you jokes 3 minutes past America if you wait long enough. Might diagnose you as a rebel if you speak too loudly about the cause of death. Every 20 minutes, another puppet dies by teleprompter. Tells a revolutionary to just vote if they want change. Tucks in sheets on deathbed for preparation. Hell, how you gonna make it out alive anyway? You might as well laugh through that ash coating lungs. We used to breathe air, now all we do is drink water and pray to the fire next time. Burning flag flapping around the body somebody deemed illegal somewhere, drew a border and said, I dare you to cross. Let's see if your lungs can take in more air than this bullet can take from you. First step is to dare you to dream. Second step is to get you to fall in love with the sound of a growling stomach. Third step is to sacrifice you to a tree branch to put you on a postcard. What good is the poet with no neck, the coroner will joke. Only half of the half he spoke to listened anyway. My burial plot placed center stage for encore viewing, and there are only teardrops left in these broken ballpoints, man. And I talk to spirits in my sleep, just collecting family history, I guess. Printing press never figured out how to publish scars, so I inherit mine directly. Taste knife blades in my dream just to be force-fed more when I wake up. Something, something about an election. Something, something about support the troops. Something, something about land of opportunity. Cash hoards stashed in banks overseas while another sidewalk panel turns pillow top comforter. The scars on my back opened up into a vision about love being the only way for me to ever be free. And if I love you hard enough, I might only die once. Reaching out for magic in my dreams just to be less dead when I'm awake, to make myself somehow more visible to the coastline, to wave to the armada for saving my soul, then plead with them to grip my broken shoulders and carry me home before I wake up again standing on a block. I just want to peace again. Speak with my great-great-uncle about the recipe he could never give me, about the smile this place took from me. I do not have enough tears to water your flowers, but perhaps the dirt from this poem can bridge the ashes I've left behind. Floating on a Sierra Leone river, I am less weight than tree. Tree telling my neck it meant to shield me before I became a dash somewhere within this project where I can't even float. You know, a white poet told me once that not every poem needs to be a revolution. Like my pen not attached to a fist with scab knuckles from punching through oak memories, trying to talk to my uncle in Haiti I never met, who's trying to talk to my aunt's headstone in Brazil these crop-dusted palms never got to touch. I must be a carpenter. From all these splinters, stinging white prayer circles gathered around stapled corners. I was born a poet, and I have hitchhiked my way to a last meal beneath this tree, ma'am. So let me pause for a second and see how much Sierra Leone is left between my fingernails. Thank
you. And bringing us home, Alie Jones.
Thanks, y'all. It's such an honor to be reading here today with all of my favorite writers, like not just poets, y'all. These people are incredible. So this first piece I'm going to share is from the anthology that Don Juan mentioned earlier. And Mama T, Mama Tureeda, curated. Y'all, please give some love for her. This is an incredible book. And it's called Sirène Rising. I don't want to remember my life before mermaids. I was raised by saltwater queens, blessed by magical beings of mythic proportions, daughters of Yemaya and Gumbo. Those who remind me of the beautiful resilience that lives within us, coiled crowns adorned with cowrie goddesses, who maintain the grace of a gazelle with the ever-changing tides, mes sirènes, my mermaid queens, flowing, crashing, rising, my grandma Genevieve. Cayenne pepper royalty, celestial matriarch soft, yet steady as a metronome in the kitchen with a laugh that could brighten any dim room. Unafraid of what is to come because her certainty is founded in love. Her setbacks created the beginning of her greatest comebacks, flowing through the roughest currents and remaining strong, flowing, crashing, rising. Mother Teresa, calming like rosemary and gentle as gardenia's earth warrior, who taught us to respect and protect the earth, to value all forms of life, holding space for her offspring, unconditionally magical, conjuring potions that transform the flu into a slight sniffle, or inventing the perfect bedtime story. She grew in the midst of adversity, never allowing fear to stop her pursuit, crashing against every judgment or expectation with determination, flowing, crashing, rising. Mes sirènes, my mermaid queens. Cousins who remind me that I could do anything. Sisters that challenge me to seek softness in times of pain and trauma, to look at myself in a mirror untarnished by self-loathing. My aquatic angels, who kept me sane when all I thought I could ever be was crazy, loving with our hearts wide open, guided by our gut feelings and our star signs, rêveurs, croyants, amants, et guerriers. Dreamers, believers, lovers, and warriors, rising above black holes of doubt, insecurities, and fear, flowing, crashing, rising. So this next piece is in honor of my grandma Genevieve, and I'm gonna move this. I wrote it actually 7 days before she passed away. Genevieve, la plupart de ma cœur, elle est toujours la plupart de ma vie, ma cœur, me. I'm grateful for my grandma Genevieve, a daughter of Louisiana sharecroppers, no middle name, several last names, 5 daughters, 1 in heaven. Lost in a trance, ready to dance, best cook in our family. She was young, wild, and free before it was a thing to be, dedicated to her family, laughing uncontrollably, cleaning houses every day just to make a way for us. No limits to her love. She drew energy from above, so below we were able to grow, flow, go. She taught me to appreciate everything. Never about cars or bling, garden plots, recipes, the very best of me. She taught me how to love, feel, heal. There will never be another like my mother's mother. There will never be enough words, dans toutes les langues, to describe her magnanimous presence, the essence of love and light. We will be all right. Even on the darkest days, she found a way. I was there the day her life changed, all of her plans rearranged on the bedroom floor. La plupart de ma cœur. Elle était, elle est toujours la plupart de ma cœur. All right, y'all. Thank you. So this is my last one. And I want to dedicate this piece to Black women. It's Women's History Month, y'all. And, you know, we just came out of Black History Month, but we know it's 365. And I just want to honor Black women in this space that we don't always have to talk about our mental health. And when we do, we're not always believed. And so I just want y'all to know that I believe you. I'm listening. This piece is called Black Girl Soldier. Our first general was underground. Railroads couldn't compare to the depths of her mind. On a mission with a vision, precision in the darkest cave covered by branches. Branches isolated by shame no matter where we go. The darkest storms. Uprooted Black bodies, we continue to hide how we feel inside. Not equal, not well. What is being? The blood that drops, my heart that stops beating, beating emotions and strength from this Black vessel, gasping for air, craving help, someone to care, anyone to see that you are not invincible. Sold and conditioned, hanging on by a noose with no room to break loose from the labels you didn't ask for. Martyr complex. Struggling to catch your breath under waters of expectation, bury your pain to survive. They can't relate. Dissociate. Nuclear fractures, familial disasters, armed with silence, surrounded by never-ending violence. Haven't we had enough? Faking like we're fine, struggling in pride, told to hide our wounds inside. Self-inflicted crimes, the deepest roots. Admiral abolitionist writer, wells of information filled her books on a crusade for justice, fighting to resist before a balled-up fist. Truth of liberation, asphyxiation. We are the seeds from strange fruit, lemon trees in the summer breeze hemorrhaging from the root under leaves of ignorance, our minds assassinated, our souls kidnapped, our bodies raped. There is no escape from the scars, this skin. When can we begin to heal, to feel, to just be free? In the cage where birds wish to sing, Harriet, Ida, Billy, Nina, shape-shifting trauma into triumph. Gardenias bloom across the street. Cope or heal. Ultimately, it's all about how you deal. The deepest roots hold the darkest storms. Thank you.
And give it up again for all of your poets. The end.